Hey guys, Infidel1258 here. Today I want to answer a question from the community, meaning I'm going to get into the comment section for my YouTube channel and I'm going to just try and answer some of those topics that you guys are bringing up. Please get in there, drop your own comments, ask your own questions, leave your IGN, which means your in-game name, and I will send you a little thank you after I answer your question, if I answer your question. In this one, it's about DEC. And the question is from Kropek Domingo. First of all, thank you for leaving the comment, Kropek. And he says, hey 12, just wondering, you always say the DEC back to peg, but what is the amount of DEC if it's back to peg? This is an interesting conversation that might sound really simplistic, and maybe it is for some of you who have been here for a while, but it's really important to recognize that we have a growing community and we want a resource-rich database of information on YouTube and everywhere else where people who are curious about Splinterlands can inform themselves. And this is a key topic. Splinterlands, the game, is interestingly not just a battle auto brawler, right? It's not. Like, you think, when you think Splinterlands, you think I pick my summoner, I pick my 5 or 6 monsters, and I win or I lose, and I get some crypto and NFTs. That's the game component, but there's a whole other game within the game, which is the economy. And the economy involves handling and jumping between DEC and SPS. Even merits are going to be a part of this conversation more and more as non-guild members receive merits through loot chests. And then there's the handling of the variety of packs that are currently on the market or that have been on the market in the past and are still available through third-party markets. And eventually there's land. So there's actually layers and layers and layers within this game. And the economy is a key component of how to both enjoy this game and actually extract maximum reward for your time and attention. So this question is actually deeply important for new people and older people who haven't properly thought of the economy as part of this game, because it is. When do you hold DEC? When do you turn it to SPS? When we stop receiving DEC in our loot chests and we start receiving SPS, the question almost reverses. When do you stop holding SPS and put it into DEC? There will be certain moments where I think that's probably true, and maybe that's right now. So let's talk about this peg issue, and let's first clarify the terms. I think we need to first mention that DEC it was created by the developers of Splinterlands to be a stable coin, or at least a relatively stable coin. It's algorithmically inflated. And what that means currently, and this is all changing soon, but what that means currently, during the play of the game, you are rewarded when you win a game. So this game here, I win. I'm going to skip the battle so we can go ahead and just see the results. But during that victory, we won 14 rank points, pushing us higher onto the leaderboard. And we're fighting in Diamond 3. We got 26,000, I forget what RP means. I think it's like, this is for the daily chest anyways. And then there you go. I got 7 DEC for that victory. 7.17 DEC for that victory. And you're going to get X amount of DEC per battle at every battle until they take away the current DEC payout model, which is very, very soon. And when I mentioned a moment ago, it's algorithmically inflated, it actually means that the system understands when the price of DEC is too high, above peg being 1,000 DEC equals $1 US. So in the past, if that peg breaks, which means it's not $1 equals 1,000, and it's, for instance, 100 DEC equals $1, which it has been. In that context, the algorithmic inflation is just a program of inflation that will dictate that more DEC was created on that subsequent day, the next day. So the peg is broken. DEC is worth too much money. We want to lower the price of DEC. The system automatically, algorithmically inflates the economy, meaning prints more DEC the following day. And that was supposed to be an automatic system that would bring down the value of DEC until it reached that peg, that desired peg, How would it do that? Well, if the price of DEC is really, really quote unquote high, meaning you get many US dollars for very few DEC, well, if you print more of it, theoretically supply demand should kick into effect, and that should drive the price of DEC down. That is in principle true. But over the last year with the SPS airdrop, the incentives were complicated because holding DEC gave you free SPS. That's a separate conversation. I just want to say DEC is supposed to be a stable coin. It's algorithmically inflated. Algorithmic inflation works like I just said, and at times that will pull the DEC price back down to peg, which is the desired goal. But that's under the old regime. We're moving into a new system where DEC will no longer be paid out to winners of ranked battle games. Soon, SPS will be paid out to rank battle winners, assuming you are staking SPS on your account. So that means a couple things. It means, one, that you need to have SPS staked on your account to get any of those financial rewards. Two, SPS is now going to be the main payment that you're receiving, and DEC, while still valuable, will not be algorithmically inflated any longer. It won't be printed every single day in every single battle and paid out to players. So now this should help, because there's not so much more coming on the market every day. It should help lower the supply and raise the price. Lowered supply should translate to raised price. And when we look at the DEC price at this moment, we're almost like the price of DEC could double and it would only be peg, because right now you see it's at 1 dark energy crystal equals 0.000531 dollars. And this would be 1 penny if this was a 1. This would be 1/10 of a penny if this was a 1. So a DEC is actually supposed to be worth 1/10 of a penny, and we are roughly half of that value at this moment. So again, we're moving to a place where SPS will be the rank battle reward. DEC will be relatively like the supply will dry up almost. There are going to be certain ways you can get it still, but let's leave that alone for now. And that lack of supply should cause DEC to rise in price, should theoretically cause it to rise in price. And the argument by Splinterlands and by me is that will raise it. That lack of supply will raise this token back to peg value, which is practically doubling in value over a short period of time, I would imagine. That's speculation, and I can't promise you that. But that is the intended function of what Splinterlands developers are currently doing and implementing. So take that with a grain of salt, but their aim is to double the value of dark energy crystals, and that would constitute a return to peg. That phrase meaning we are below peg and we are going to return to that intended peg value, which is roughly double our current value. That's the understanding of where DEC's come from, how it was attempted to be sustained at its peg value using algorithmic inflation, how that's all changing as we move into the SPS payout system, and how my own opinion and the developer's opinion around the fact that this will be successful, and that would constitute a doubling of the value. So DEC is pretty interesting right now. Like I said at the beginning of the video, or I think I implied, this is important for all of us to understand, because this has implications for this game within the game, the economy of Splinterlands. If DEC could double in the next short period of time, that could represent a financial opportunity for people who are holding DEC. In one major way, there are other considerations that might kind of detract. I can't fully elaborate in this video on all the possible considerations, but suffice it to say, a return to peg, like the question was asking about, DEC back to peg, is the idea of, first, DEC is intended to be a stable coin at 1,000 equals $1. Second, we've fallen below that. Third, the techniques that used to apply to restore or return us to peg have failed and are being abandoned. And four, we are implementing a new strategy which should be effective. It's going to be a marked reduction of the amount of DEC put into circulation, which ought to translate to a significant increase in the dark energy crystal price. Should. If so, what does that mean for holding DEC? It's important to understand this stuff, guys. Think it through. Decide for yourself if you believe that the new procedures that are being implemented are going to actually raise DEC back to its peg or not. And if you think that will occur, holy cow, that's potentially a doubling of your US dollar value. Because, like I said, we're at 000532 per DEC, and we could go. We ought to. The developers want to go to 1/10 of a penny. So, if you're looking at it from a new money value, buying DEC today at this market rate, and then just holding it till peg return, you're talking about doubling your value. But here's the interesting thing, and I'll close here, guys, on this issue of peg. I think I've explained the peg importantly. But you will have also heard me talk about how this return to peg is exciting, but it feels like there's an arbitrage opportunity with DEC now because Splinterlands is already accepting dark energy crystals as if they were already at peg. This is something new people won't necessarily understand. The price of a dark energy crystal is, like I said, 0.000532. That's the market price. But Splinterlands is accepting them in the shop window for Chaos Legion packs at 1 pack equals 4,000 DEC, or said another way, 1 pack equals $4 US. And that's the interesting distinction, because they're willing to accept $4 per pack, but they're willing to accept 4,000 DEC, which is them saying we already accept it at the amazing exchange rate of double its value. And so understanding DEC is super important. Understanding how it's changing and how the new economy probably means it's going to double, and maybe that represents an opportunity for you if you hold DEC or if you're willing to buy and hold DEC. But I think interestingly, it's already, you don't need to necessarily wait days or weeks or months to see DEC hopefully return to peg. You could potentially use it now in accessing $4 packs for roughly $1.85 or something. I think it is. It's roughly, $2 or something like that. Because you could buy 4,000 DEC for $2, and then you could spend it here as if it were $4. So that's kind of DEC in a nutshell. And this may have been a bit more preliminary for some of you guys, a bit more kind of obvious, or you know it already. But to Kropek, I just want to say that this is super important stuff. And actually, I know for a fact you're not the only one who's curious about this idea of back to peg. And the importance of it is so integral to succeeding within Splinterlands that I really wanted to take this time to create this video for you. And you had another question here about rentals, but I almost want to just answer that as a separate video because I do think that that's it's detached from this conversation. And so I'm going to leave it there. Kropek, I'm going to send you a little something. Thank you for the question. Okay, guys, I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you so much, and I hope you have an amazing day. God bless.